So first of all, thank you all for coming. And to everyone that's on virtual. Can everybody that's virtual hear me? I hope.
I think you're muted. Yeah, you're muted.
I'm muted? I know, but that's not.
Tap the screen,
That's what I was
because I don't think, I think it's just on the screen. I'm about to pull it up.
Oh, sure she is. Okay, they can hear me.
Okay, perfect.
Secretary just joined us on. So, perfect. Okay, so we're going to have a short presentation, just giving a little bit of background on LinkedIn and what all it can offer us when it comes to not only our profiles, but the resources that it has alongside of our profiles. And then we'll eat and we can work on our profiles. So, okay, so first of all, it's important to know why it even matters to us utilizing a platform like LinkedIn. And it's important because not only can we connect, we can get information, we can learn, we can meet new people and have new opportunities, but also we're able to market ourselves in a way that you can't necessarily do when someone's reading your resume. So you can really control how you are presented and how your professional brand is presented. And so that's part of kind of the goal of doing this and being able to go in and learn more about it, which is something that I gained just in setting all of this up, was figuring all this extra stuff out. So that's kind of the point of today, is really being able to optimize LinkedIn in the best ways possible. So kind of just a few things that LinkedIn offers us. Not only is it a personalized network opportunity, but it allows you to communicate quickly and effectively with tons of other people, joining groups as well that you may not be able to join in person, especially now after the pandemic. There is a really in-depth toolbox for job postings, hiring, for resume building, for job guidance. There's different videos and all of that stuff, skills assessments. So it's also a social media platform, but the tools when it comes to business, the business marketplace that it includes, and then the job resources that it has for us as not only hirers, but also people that are trying to potentially get hired into numerous positions. The business marketplace does include advertising. It includes salary comparison data that we can utilize to see what are people in our positions making in other areas, other states, other companies, that type of thing, along with different business services, along with the Learning Center as well, which has a plethora of courses that we can take to further our knowledge, not only in various topics that might be related to our field, but fields or different areas that we may even be interested in a personal manner. And so along with that, there's news, newsletters, and an events calendar, which I didn't even know existed, but apparently it does. And so that's really awesome as well, that it has that calendar option to it as well. So yeah.
You're taking a picture of it?
Okay, so a couple tips for getting the most out of LinkedIn. Number one is just show up. So don't be nervous, or because I'm very much an introvert, but we have to kind of reach out to people. We have to connect. We have to send those requests, send those messages, and making sure that we're doing that consistently. So even if it's 5 minutes out of the day, that will make a difference as opposed to not being on at all. And people will see that you are active as they're getting on as well. Number two is growing your network. So you want to have a network that's meaningful, people that are relevant to your experiences, so classmates, coworkers, community members, people in groups that you may be in, whether it's on LinkedIn or not, friends, anybody that can potentially be an advocate for you or is a great connection for you to promote is somebody that you're going to want in your network. Next, you want to share original content. And so the fact that LinkedIn allows us to post various things, to share various things, there are ways that you can set up audio recordings, you can embed videos, you can share links. So there's plenty of opportunities for us to share content, and it will be specific to either our page, promoting our organization, promoting our coworkers, that type of thing. And so one of the things that is going to be important with this is maybe set a goal for yourself. How many days out of the week do you want to make sure that you're posting something or that you're actively sharing something with, your own comments, that type of thing? Whether it's once a week or every couple of days, that type of thing. Set a reminder. Keep it in as a part of your work schedule so that you actually keep up with it. Because I know we all get. Next, you want to give more than you get. So LinkedIn allows us to endorse other people. It also allows us to get recommendations from people, kind of like you would when you're applying for a job. So in regards to giving what you can, go and find people in your network that you have maybe worked with or that maybe on a more personal level, and go give them an endorsement onto their page. That will be right on their profile, and that will be something that everybody that they're connected with can see. And the chances are that people are probably going to endorse you back as well. So lastly, like I said earlier, be consistent. It's easier for you to implement this into time at home, and it's just a few minutes, or time during the day. Find what works best for you. But it's super important because we don't need to spend hours on LinkedIn at any one time to have a successful profile or to optimize the benefits of it. So continuing to keep up with it throughout the work week is something that can really help us to get our names in more searches, to get more people seeing our profiles and seeing what we have to offer. So we also want to make sure that we're thinking about DOA, since that is where we work. We are able to promote not only our positions in DOA by what we put in our profiles and what we share, but also we're able to promote DOA's work, the division work, different events, initiatives, and that will bring more attention to our organization as a whole, which makes all of us look better. And it also gives more people an idea of what it is that we do, what it is that we are trying to do, and it can potentially bring new employees, new partnerships. So I'll make sure that we send this out, but Evan did point out that there are 2 different DOA LinkedIn pages, but they are both managed by our department, by HR. So we'll send those out after the event. So make sure that you guys follow them, like what they post, share it, all that good stuff.
And I just dropped the link in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so some updates that we can make specifically starting today. And as you go, you can continue to update these things. One, your profile picture. So this is gonna be your first impression. And Evan actually is the first person I know to have the profile video, which is brand new, I guess. So do you wanna explain a little bit more about that?
Sure. So LinkedIn, I don't know when it started. Actually, a friend of mine's a videographer, and he ran across the option to do profile videos on LinkedIn. And it's really a chance because, outside of someone going to your page, reading through, anything that you've shared, anything that you've typed in, there's just your profile photo, which is your face. Whereas the video gives you an opportunity to kind of like speak to who you are, the work that you do, the organizations you represent. With the profile video, there are some limitations. One, the video cannot be more than 30 seconds long. So it has to be short, quick, to the point. Also, you cannot upload the video from a computer. You have to record it on either a phone or record it on some other video recorder and then upload it to LinkedIn using the LinkedIn app, mobile app on your phone. So those were a few things that we ran into. The circle, it actually does not play in the circle. There's like a 3-second preview that happens in the circle. Once you click the profile photo, it opens up to like what you're accustomed to at like a IG reel or a Facebook story where it's like the full screen video. And so it gives you a lot of ability to kind of be creative. But mine is on my page. It went live last night. He sent it to me last night, just kind of a test. And so you can take a look at that if you want to see what those look like and how you can probably use videos you already have to just upload into that space.
Great. Yeah, that's awesome. And so perfect. So yeah, so that's gonna be your first impression. And being able to actually speak and give a little bit more information is even better than just a photo. Next is your background photo, your headline photo. You want this to be something that pops, something that can give a little bit more information about what matters most to you. And that will go right along with your headline. So this doesn't necessarily have to just be a description of your role. You know, we can make this something that's more about us as people, as professionals, to promote our professional brand, than just listing what our current job is. Following that, you'll have your profile summary. And it's really easy to kind of just list our experience, our skills that we've obtained up until this point. But this is where you can really make it more about you. You can tell your story a little bit more while you link back to why the skills that you have, the education that you have, the experiences that you have are important and why they're relevant, if that makes sense. Something else too that I know I hadn't really considered before is wording. So there are lots of buzzwords on LinkedIn, and some of the resources that we have for everyone, there are different lists of buzzwords that, you know, a lot of people use. And so it's not bad to use those, but it's good to kind of assess the pros and cons of using those words, because you want to make sure that you stand out. You also want to make sure that you're representing yourself as accurately as possible and making your profile as unique as possible. So next, you have your skills that we can update as we accrue skills. The skills assessment as well on LinkedIn will give you skills badges for your profile, and it will allow you to really highlight certain things that you're very, very strong in, and it'll also give you a chance to see maybe some things that you could work on. So as you acquire new skills, identify those relevant ones that can then go back and they can corroborate what you say in your profile summary, what you say in your headline, what is in your photos and your experience and all of that stuff. Services. So this is a new section on LinkedIn where you can actually list services that you can provide to other people. And so it's going to be an even better way for your name and your profile to appear in searches. So it kind of enhances the traffic that may be coming to your profile. Endorsements, like I mentioned earlier, go ahead and make that first step, endorse others, they'll endorse you back, and those will just be listed on your profile, and that is never going to be a bad thing, especially to have other professionals in your field endorsing you. Recommendations, we can request from contacts that we have, people in our network. We just want it to be people that are meaningful, mentors, supervisors, etc., people that have worked directly with us, and those recommendations will also be listed straight on your profile as well. And lastly, learning certificates. So if you do take any of the LinkedIn learning courses, you'll get certificates for the ones that you can complete. And you can update your network each time you complete those, each time you earn that. And that'll just add even more initiative to further, you know, your experience, your education, your willingness to really take the extra step and spend the time. And those will appear on your profile as well. So these are some things we can start with that we can constantly kind of be thinking about and making sure that we're updating as we go. And that is all I have for the presentation. So I did email everyone a document that has just different resources going over what your profile includes, going over tips on how to access different things throughout LinkedIn, a little bit more information about what we just covered, things we can update. And then some URLs, some articles that we can utilize to, you know, really make our profiles as best as possible. So if you did not get that email, just let me know, and I'll make sure that you get it, and we can use that today while we're working on our profiles and going forward. So, yes.
So do you mind showing us your profile as an example?
Okay, sure. Put me on the spot here.
He haven't volunteered his.
Evan's the one that I should be looking at. Yeah. Yeah. I try to model mine after yours, Evan, so.
What did I ask? Maybe I'm just suggesting.
Tell me to do. Tell me if you make it.
I'm done with you.
Okay, here's Evan's
That-
profile.
I said your profile. That's your profile.
So this is Evan's profile. He has a lot of connections, but you can see, which is really cool, that you have these hashtags up in your headline area that kind of tell people a little bit more about what matters to you, what's important to you, along with your headline photo. And you have the cool new video, which is even better. But so here, we have so many different parts of our profile, and that's something that's listed on the materials page, that you don't even realize, there are so many things on my profile that I don't have that Evan clearly does, but he's very active on his profile. And so you have your activity, you have all of the people that interact with your posts, your about section, your listed experiences. You can attribute skills specifically to one type of work, one type of job, one type of, volunteer or community service that you did, along with your school. Look you've got so many pictures underneath your school and all that stuff. Education, volunteering, which is something that, not everybody is going to have. So adding that just adds even more to your profile. Here are his licenses and certifications, another section that you have as you accrue things. You can add those. Skills, lots of them clearly, which is something that is not going to hurt you to add them in. And if you move to a different position or you're realizing that, this skill you don't necessarily use as much anymore, take it out and change it out. That's not a bad thing. It's not that you've lost that skill. It's just that you're not, you're not focusing on that right now in what you're doing. And so Evan has a lot of recommendations and received. It also shows the ones that you've given. So that not only speaks to, what people think about you, but it allows people to see how you interact with others as well. Publications, which you have quite a few of. Projects. The projects area is really cool. You can attribute it to a certain role. You can, give a time frame. You can have other project managers associated with it. So other people that worked on the same projects as you can be linked to your profile in that way, which is great. Honors and awards. You have so much stuff on here, Evan. I have to really step my game up. Organizations outside.
I do too much, that's all.
Causes, which is really cool. That's one section where you can really let people know more about what matters to you as a person, and probably even in your role professionally. And then your interests, which just gives people an even further look into what you're interested in, and can give people the opportunity to find organizations, companies, other people that they are probably interested in following as well. So doing things like that can help promote, DOA or other state agencies or community organizations that we might be involved in. So that is a great example profile. So if there aren't any questions.
There's some in the chat. Kimberly says, somehow I have 2 LinkedIn profiles, any way to merge them into one.
I am not 100% positive. Do you have it? Does anybody have any idea? I've never had to do that. I'm sure there is a way. I can look into that too as well and see what I can find. Is there anything else in the chat, Evan?
Pamela Brunson said show the video.
Yeah, you can't hear it though. I hadn't watched that yet. Sorry, I don't know what happened with the sound, but. Okay, well, if anybody has anything else to add or any other questions or anything, feel free. Anaja and Gianna also are part of the professional development committee. They have helped obviously put this all together, so feel free to reach out to them as well. And yeah, like I said, if you didn't get the resources, let me know and we can start working on our profiles and eat lunch. So yeah.
I have to run, so I do have just a few questions. Should your profile be the same as your resume, or it should?
So it should include what's on your resume, but a lot more. So one of the cool features about LinkedIn is if you click this more button on your profile, you can actually save your profile to a PDF, which is almost what we've been calling like your LinkedIn resume.
Okay.
So it'll include your education, your relevant experiences, your organizations. And so the way I like to think of LinkedIn is it's a way to put your resume online, but in a more social manner, and to add things on your resume that you might want to put on there, but aren't necessarily, wanted by hiring managers, that type of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Is there a best way to organize?
So it is organized for you. So in the resource packet that I sent to everyone, the profiles are all set up in a specific order. Like as you scroll down the screen, they're always going to be in the same order. So your activity, your highlights, all of that will always come above your profile summary. You'll have your summary, and then it'll go straight into your experience and your education. So there's not necessarily in regards to formatting your profile a specific way, because it technically does that for you. But there are different sections that you can add. So if you were to go to more, let me go to my profile so I can show you. If you were to go to your profile and go right up here, it's going to have add profile section. And so this is some of what's listed on that resource page. You can add anything in here that you feel needs to be. So not everybody will have every section on here, like if you speak other languages, test scores, that type of thing. So you get to personalize it in that way as far as organizing it goes.
So in theory, I could use the sections for each one of my development?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Any other questions? Okay. Well, that's all I have. So thank you all.
Thank you.